All right, hi, I'm Brian Dixon. I'm with the California Nevada Racquetball Association, aka CNRA. We're talking with Cody Elkins today, and his
I,
Brett is also along. Hey, Cody. Let's see. I would just want to ask you some questions. How old are you right now?
I'm 17, so a year till I'm of legal age.
To be drafted? Do
You
you,
never know.
do you
You never.
even know what that means?
Yeah, well, obviously, like maybe the racquetball IRT draft, but you
There
know,
you go.
the military could suffice.
There you go. So are you driving?
Um, there's a whole issue with COVID and my dad not letting me go to the DMV. So uh, I'm just gonna take the driver's. I've taken all my lessons. I'm just gonna take the test when I'm 18. I'm not too worried about it. I'm
Blaming
a
me. It's called self-initiative.
I'm a pretty good driver.
I know this would never happen, but if you got a speeding ticket, what would you do about that?
Um,
You
I'd
could
bet
traffic school things or any?
I'd pay it, I guess. And then
You don't
you
know any like a traffic school option or any?
I just might get like a free code for like
Okay.
this one traffic school. And I have to email the guy. His name's like Brett at trafficeducation.net. So I could always email and ask for like a free discount.
I think I've heard about that guy. Um, what city do you guys actually live in?
Um, I mean, we live in LA, but there's LA is like a pretty big, it's like an hour long. So like the whole city's maybe an hour spread out. So we live in like West LA, right near UCLA. We're gonna be like
Okay.
specific. Yeah.
And what school do you go to?
I go to Palisades Charter High School, right near the beach. It's like a mile away. Even though I've never actually made the trip to the beach from my school, but you know, that's for another day.
And I know family members that it's kind of a racquetball, at least the guy part is family is racquetball. Your dad plays.
Mm-hmm.
Dane won just about every junior racquetball, I think. I don't know. Did he win 8 and unders, and was he playing that young?
I don't think he was good that young. I think as a kid I might have been a little better, but we can dispute it. I think at 13 maybe he started to get a little. I've caught up. I think I'd beat him if he got back on the court with me, but
and
we'll
Jaden played for a while.
Yeah, Jaden played for a while. I never actually got the chance to beat him as a kid, and he was pretty good when he used to play as a
I
kid.
remember going down there and running a tournament in San Diego one time. I think it was Jaden was in my face the whole tournament.
He's a little what's the word? He can be a little bit of a head case on the court, I'm still traumatized from his 12-year-old screaming, but
And the girls in the family, do your mom and Madison has racquetball been part of their?
Madison used to play, but all you needed to do was Z-server and the rally was over before it started. That was the strategy back in the day.
Got it.
She was decent though. She could hit the ball.
Right. And when did you start playing? How old were you when you started?
I started when I was 2, but I can't guarantee that. But I say 2, because it sounds better than 3. But I know I started tournaments at like 4.5. So
Tournaments?
Yeah, maybe 4.5. Yeah, I can't remember who it was I played, but it was like multi-bounce, and I think I won 5-4, at least from my memory.
And that game lasted an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think so. And after that, I was maybe I lost like 65 games in a row. I'd only play older kids, but I mean, that's the reason my win-loss chart's not too good on USA Racquetball. But I was like I was 8 and I was playing like 12-year-olds. Like
Right.
It's a little bit of a disadvantage. So
Right.
take it as you will.
I dropped the ball a little bit when I was talking about family. One of my favorite people, whenever I go away to a tournament, is to see your grandpa, Bruce.
He's infamous.
Yes. That was my favorite part of Des Moines, hanging out with you guys. I could care less about the tournament, just hanging out with you guys was fun at least.
Yeah, he can be great at times, but then like also he can be a bit of a delay. You know, like if I'm tired, I want to get back to the hotel and he's talking to someone, you know, I'll let him continue, but sometimes it can be a little disrupting to your routine. You know, you kind of have like a timestamp you have to go by, you know. So, but he's a funny guy, that's for sure.
I think I was involved in one of those moments in the lobby in Des Moines as he caught my ear for longer than you wanted him to. I always enjoy visiting with him, so that's.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He'll probably be at I think if junior nationals is happening, you know, that's always a question mark. I think he'll probably be there. So, or we'll make him come.
All right,
you know?
great. What in your brain, what achievements have you made in racquetball? Do you feel there are maybe highlights of your racquetball career?
Well, I think I mean, obviously outdoor, you know, I mean, Greg Solis, who's like a Hall of Famer in outdoor racquetball. He was the #1 seed in the pros this past year, and I got 15-7, 15-8 off him. And I hadn't been on an outdoor court for probably 10 months before I played, maybe even a year before I played in that tournament. So, you know, that was a feat. And then also one year we were playing mixed doubles at Junior Nationals Championship. And me and my partner, and we played for maybe 2-3 years. Her name was Camelia. We were down, I think we lost the first game 15-2, right? And we were getting killed. And I was like, all right, I'm going to have to take over. So, you know, we won the second in a close one. I think it was 15-13, something like that. And we won the tiebreaker 11-7. So that was a nice Junior Olympics win. But other than that, I'd say like after like COVID, you know, Dane going missing, you know, I started to have some like newer founded motivation, you know, to get better. So, you know, I've been playing a lot better recently, you know, and I think the tough thing for me is mentally, you know, like, because as a kid, I'd get beat up and like I'd always be playing all the kids. I'd lose a lot. So I've just been getting mentally tougher recently. And I think once I fully 100% there, I'm going to be a big problem for a lot of people, even at the pro level. So, yeah, I'm just working towards that, and I keep working on my craft, but I've been injured the last few weeks. But yeah, I'd say my hard work will show itself soon enough. So,
I might put as, for me personally, one of your achievements is both you and your dad have been active on the CNRA junior committee. So your attendance is probably better than most on our meetings, and being involved in making decisions on what we're going to fund, what we're going to, maybe an event we're going to come up with, or so. I mean, I would definitely mark that as an achievement, and that's a great stick it on the college resume thing too, to be.
Yeah. You know, obviously I care about the sport. You know, at junior nationals, I was trying to explain to some other players or not junior, at high schools like this past month. I was trying to explain to some other guys because I was also like Josh Shea, for example. Trying to think who else was doing this, but a couple of us were volunteer reffing, you know, not because like we had to ref or anything. There were some other matches going on. We could have gone and watched the match in the #1 court, but because there was a lot of kids there who haven't really reffed the match in like a national tournament, you know, and if you lose, you have to. So taking the load off some of those kids, you know, there were some big matches where there was maybe some questionable refereeing. Okay. I came and did some refereeing. So also I think that's good. I've gone better as a ref recently. So, you know, I've been trying to help the sport a little bit, the fairness.
Reffing and me, one of my first reffings, I think I was 10 years old. I had to ref a women's B doubles match in Vacaville. And I swear the players were yelling at me. They had to take me off crying halfway through the match. And so the rest of my life playing racquetball, I always brought a wad of $5 bills with me, so I could always pay someone to take my reffing duties.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll remember that. I'll remember.
How about the announcing with Leo, Cody?
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I've done some announcing with Leo. That's been good. I'll just, I've done it enough times where I'll just walk over the booth. I'll be like, all right, Leo, I'll do this one with you, and I'll take over the duties. But yeah, I the one thing I'll do if there's a guy I know has a reputation, or if it's like a big match, I'll walk on the court beforehand and I'll say, I'm not taking any stuff from you guys. So this is your warning. You start talking to me, like you can talk a little bit back if the call was maybe a little questionable, even I know it. But if you're talking to you on a call I don't think was bad, I'm giving you a tech right away. So that's how my strat. I don't play around. If you warn them before the match about a tech, they're gonna get it. Then they already know. That's already the warning. So you don't need to warn them during the match. So that's how I go about it.
That's good. That's the way to do it. I was going to ask you about volunteering, but you already said that. So,
Yeah.
one thing, and I think I've known you guys probably for 10 something years. I don't know how long, probably close to 10 years would be my guess. One thing I've always said, you always win the award for best attitude. I swear even when you were younger and you're on the court and you're getting whooped 11-0 or something, you always had a smile on your face. So you always, even though there was no award for best attitude, you always got my mental award for best attitude on the court.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to. I'm usually pretty. I mean, unless like the one thing that's hard at those tournaments, like the national ones, is there's ref. Like if I have a good ref, it's fine. But like the refereeing, like I don't know about that. But otherwise, like if I'm losing a match, I'm just going for. If I'm down 10, it doesn't matter if it's 7, 8, 9. I'm not worrying about the other guy running off points. I'm trying to get. I'm going after every single point. I don't ever give up in matches. That's just my mentality. It doesn't matter what the score is to me. I started to delete the score out of my brain. So if I'm down 6-0,
Play
I
one
think
point at a time.
I think I'm winning. That's just how that's my mentality. But yeah, 1 point at a time. Rocky taught me that.
Right, exactly. How much do you train?
I mean I'd say the last year and a half. I mean, I've been training, I'd say 7 days a week. I mean, you say 6 if something comes up on the 7th, but yeah, I mean, I'm working pretty hard. I used to run 5 miles a day. That's how I got in shape for Junior Olympics. Probably 3 months straight, I'd run 5 miles every day, and that was good for my mental toughness. But yeah, I've been doing that.
How much of that is just alone time drilling on the court, just doing dropping hits and your basic drilling?
I mean, it's taken me time to adapt to like how you're supposed to practice. So I mean, now I just go on my court by myself. Like I don't go with my dad a lot. I just go on the court. There's one near my house now. A friend of ours got me a membership, and I'll go 2 hours and if there's guys there, I'll play with them. I'll do 1v2. But usually I'm just hitting 2 hours straight. Get off the court. My dad picks me up. Yeah. And I just work on whatever I've been struggling with in recent matches. I'm working on that first, and then I'm working on the other stuff. But yeah.
Okay, good. And I hear you've been doing some training with Cliff. Is that done is that done through Zoom or video, or have you done some in person with him as well?
It's a bit of both. I mean, it's like a 7-hour flight. Last time I must have had 3 coffees. I haven't had a coffee in my life before that trip. So I mean, on a Friday, and I think we came back like Saturday night. So, you try and you can try and schedule it, but Cliff's a busy guy, so it's a lot of online stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you have a favorite tournament?
Well, that's well, there's 2 questions to that. So playing it, there's a difference between, I'd say, playing experience and overall experience. So if we're going overall, I'd have to go Junior Olympics. That's like I'd say that's the best like overall tournament. But as far as playing, like what's my favorite tournament to play in? I'd go outdoor nationals. That's the funnest one to play with the walls. I kind of have a competitive advantage just because I understand the courts. So yeah, I'd have to say outdoor nationals.
Well, it's funny because my next question was outdoor versus indoor. Do you have a preference?
You know, if there was as many outdoor, if there was the same money, um, they were valued equally and all that, I'd go outdoor. That would be my answer to your question. But yeah, I love playing outdoor. I don't do it that much. It's also pretty easy to get hurt too on those courts. So
Right. Right. Yeah, when we've played, you always have to have an odd number, so there's that one person that chased the balls down. Because we have the back fence behind us is just big enough for the balls to go flying through.
Uh,
Yeah, so
that
kind of it, you almost have to have the opposite strategy in outdoor than indoor. Like a high pinch is a great outdoor shot, and it's a terrible indoor shot. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'd say that's definitely true. I think Aaron Emery taught me that a little bit, but you know, he's told me that the strategies are different. Personally, I'd say the biggest difference for me is I'm one of those guys who can kind of get a lot of like balls that you just shouldn't be able to get. Like if you watch my like one of the matches in the broadcast, I think that Leo did, he was like, "Wow, Cody got that." You know, like I just kind of have that extra. I have the scrappiness, and I've played it for a while, so I kind of have like those instincts. So some of those balls that you normally wouldn't go chase down, I'll get my racket on almost every single one of them. So it's more of like, you know, and I can hit it high. Like hitting it high is not the issue, you know. Whereas indoor, you can go reach for a ball and misplace it. You know, it might come high a little bit, and then you're gonna get killed on the next shot. So, yeah, I like that aspect of outdoor. But I think the biggest thing for outdoor is hitting cross court shots and being able to hit them in, which is something a lot of people can't do. That's something I'm good at. A lot of people aren't good at hitting like mid height cross court shots. So that's what I'd say benefits me a lot in outdoors. Yeah.
Right. Do you have the overhead serve mastered?
Oh, it's funny we bring out overhead serves. So, after my first match, which at at high school nationals, you know, where there was a lot of stuff that went. I mean, I got in at like 12 a.m. at night, but you know, there was some booing going on during that match. But after that match, I was like, I'm not losing again. My next match, I didn't do it, or maybe I did it at the end of the game. But then the next two matches that I won, the only serve I did was an overhead Z serve in indoors at high school nationals.
Yeah.
And I don't think these kids, I mean, they're both Missouri guys. I don't think they've ever played outdoors in their life. They had nothing but issues trying to return it because it just came off the wall high and it was coming at a faster speed than they've seen. So, yeah, I mean, I love overheads. I might do a little too much in indoor. I usually cool it down a little bit during a tournament, but in indoors. But I mean, I hit them pretty good. So
Yeah, if you could time it just right, even an overhead down the line serve is if it hits like a foot or two from the back wall, it comes flying off. But you know, if the player's not quick enough to catch it. So college, do you have thoughts on college? Are you going to be looking at a school that would either have racquetball or you would create a club at a college? Any thoughts?
you know, it's funny you say that. I was at a pro stop and some college is trying to recruit me to come to their school, but which I had an experience before that, and I was a little tired. You know, I was kind of focused on the tournament, so it was a little bit of a distraction. But as far as college goes, I might be near you, Brian. I'm considering going to up north. My friend goes to SLO, so I'm considering going to community college near there, and room with him. So I'd say that's the biggest thing under consideration right now. But SMC is always an option, so we'll see.
Well, Sonoma State would be a good option.
No mistake.
Yeah, Julius Ellis goes there.
Hey, he's a good player. So
And it's a mile from our gym.
it's like walking distance for me.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now in career and in racquetball? Maybe they're both the same.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be well, you know what, I won't say top 5. I'm gonna be the #1 player on the pro tour in 10 years. And that's going to be from hard work. So, I mean, I'll be I might not win every tournament. Like I ain't no Kane, but I'll be winning 8 out of 10, so 8 out of 10 of those pro stops. And then, but that's like a part-time thing. I won't make it full-time like a lot of the pros. And then I'll probably be a therapist, because that's like, with that, you can also like, you can do it on your own time. You can do it via Zoom. So it's a little more flexible. It's like a flexible job, but also
A mental therapist or a physical therapist?
mental, but having like the racquetball and like the experience, like maybe the athletes too, something with the athletes with like because I know a lot of the athletes struggle with like mental health. So that's something I consider too. But yeah. So
Yeah,
like
there are actually specifically sports therapists.
yeah,
They only focus with working with athletes and their, you could work with people on their visualizing techniques and whatever. No, that's cool. My mom is a psychotherapist. She started later in life. She actually was graduating from college as I was heading to college, but that's neither here nor there. So something that you probably, maybe you're tired of even hearing about, is you're a vegan. And
yeah.
were you born a vegan?
I think maybe until I was like 4, I think I was non-vegan, but I was vegetarian. So, yeah, but now I'm vegan. Yeah.
I know people like to make a thing about vegan athletes and how can you do this and that. I mean, I'm myself, I don't eat meat or dairy, so I'm close to, I'm probably not quite as strict as you guys are, but I'll have a little bit of Parmesan on that spaghetti, or I'll have a little bit of mozzarella on that pizza. But and so, there's a lot to be, the discussion about vegan athletes. Is it even a thing as far as you're concerned?
Here's what I'll say to that. It's like saying, God, I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It's like, what was the delusion that people? It's like when people used to say, "Oh, cigarettes aren't bad for your health." It's a myth. That's the way I'd put it. It's just a myth. It's something that's out there. It's only people tell you, like, just like the tooth fairy. It's a myth. It's not real. It has zero effect on my ability to swing a ball to the front wall, my ability to move. There's a lot of people who at these tournaments I see who are not vegan, and they're not in shape because they're not vegan. So
Right.
I would toss that aside.
Well, the question, I know the question I always get, I mean, I think probably the standard question of vegetarian or plant-based or vegan, where do you get your protein? I mean, I find that that's such a question that I don't know why people still even ask it. You can get your protein from a piece of broccoli or a piece of spinach or it's full of walnuts or whatever. But it's amazing that that's still a question that's like, well, where do you get your protein?
It's
I'm
funny.
sure you've heard that a time or two.
Yeah. I've heard that question probably, I'd say 50 plus, but it's probably about 100. I mean, if you looked up broccoli and beef, there's a comparison, and you look up the calories, like per 100 calories. So no surprise, broccoli has more protein per 100 calories than the other one. But at the end of the day, like, I mainly eat vegan protein foods. Like, that's most of my consumption is vegan protein. So, like, if I make that my diet, then the protein's not a concern to begin with. So I don't really see, like, if you want to be like the people who eat, like the athletes who eat meat all the time, you also have to realize that there's so much calories, you have to burn that off. Whereas the vegan protein is a better calorie to protein like percentage. People don't weigh that, so it's not really an issue.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want to dwell on it too much, but yeah, if you eat meat, it's going to sit in your gut for 2 or 3 days, and your vegetables will not last that long. So,
Hey, Cody, what would you say are some of the reasons, besides whether health, whether health or athletic or not, you wouldn't know. But would there be any other reasons for other people considering it? And how tough is it?
I mean, really, like, I wouldn't say there's like a huge. I mean, it's really just like, why are you? And it like, I mean, obviously, it's not good for the earth to like get to factor that in. But yeah, really, just it's like, I mean, are you really like gonna eat another species? I mean, I get if you do it not all the time, but like, you're daily gonna consume another animal. Like, I just don't know. I mean, we talk about there's a lot of things that have changed over the years, like you look at cavemen, the things they would do, like even 1,000 years back, we had slaves. We consider that inhumane, but killing an animal isn't. Like, I don't see how we flip-flop. Does that kind of make sense?
Right.
Like, how can we eat animals, but then we don't have slaves anymore? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. That's all.
Right. Yeah, just from a racquetball standpoint, going to tournaments, I know since I changed my way of eating, sometimes going on trips is a little bit of a challenge to find the right source of food. Generally, tournaments don't have it. You can't even eat the tournament food for the most part for a lot of tournaments, but unless you just eat the salad part. But and I know we've run into each other searching for food at different events sometimes. But
And I think the one difference, like what makes it easier than how it used to be, is I think more fast food restaurants carry like plant-based stuff than they did 2 years ago. You could possibly think beyond impossible for that, but without that, it would be a big issue. But I mean, the tournament, I think a lot of people don't eat the tournament food, if we're being honest, to begin with. But obviously it'd be nice not to have to leave the club, but also like I don't like to be. I have too many people come up to me at tournaments and try and talk to me, so I like eating outside anyways, because like I kind of like when I'm at a tournament, I'm focused on the tournament. It's less of a social thing and it's more of me focusing on my racquetball. So
right.
I factor that in.
Ryan, why did you decide to go more plant-based? What was the reason?
My original reason was for health. I'm a type 2 diabetic and I started having some neuropathy, and I started researching and saw that a fatty liver can cause a lot of that. So the cause of a fatty liver generally comes from meat. So I figured, hey, I'm not going to eat meat for 3 months and see how that goes. And I never looked back. And then I researched more and more and then got all animal-based products out of and then as I researched plant-based more and more, I started to get the animal side too. When you start researching where does this food come from, even just from eggs and milk, how that comes. So my originally for health and now health and animals, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned your brother Dane.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say about what's going on with Dane, or how your family's working with? I mean, I think most people have probably heard a little bit of what's going on, but if you want to touch on that, whatever you'd like to say.
I mean, I'll tell you this, unless something's changed for the last couple months, he's alive. But I mean, obviously he's like, I mean, there's not much more we know. There has been a lot of contact recently with anyone around his circle, but he's what keeps me going for racquetball and then most things in life. So when I'm on the court, that's the first thing I think of when I hit a first ball. I'm always trying to strive to hold the standard that Dane put forth on me. So I always used to have people come up to tournaments, be like, "Oh, you're Dane Elkins' brother," So I plan on beating out his reputation, but I try to live up to it. So yeah.
Right.
Like even at a pro stop like one guy I talked to, like he probably never would have known who I was, but I said, "Oh, you played my brother," and then he asked about like what's going like because he knew what happened. So everyone knows who he is. He's very prominent racquetball figure. So yeah, I mean, great player, great person, and hopefully he's back soon. Yeah.
Right. And for those that don't know, he went missing December 2020. Is that when he
I believe so. Yeah.
went missing? So Dane has been missing since then, but we're kind of, and people can look up on Facebook. I think if you just look up Dane Elkins, you can find the Facebook pages and and kind of follow along what's going on.
Yeah.
So thanks for talking about that. Anything else you'd like to say, and we'll just wrap this up?
You know, you won't. I won't be one of those guys who quits at 18. You'll keep seeing me at tournaments. And expect me to slowly start peeking up on that. You're gonna see a couple of maybe 2 or 3 pro stops from now. You're gonna see me beat a pro. So I'm working towards that, and it getting good at it's like any sport. Getting good at takes time, it takes work, but slowly I'll be there. So
Right. Well, and
yeah.
also as far as juniors, at least as of right now, I'm not sure how long this is going to last. They now have the 21 and under division added to juniors.
And obviously that has its
I have mixed feelings about that, but I've actually not even mixed. I have one feeling about that, but
and then again, you bring people back. 21. That means that 21-year-olds who previously weren't allowed to play are now able to play. I mean, there's a bunch of things that are factored in. Like maybe I know a lot of guys stopped playing, like Antonio Rojas, maybe for example, he'd probably be playing. So it's definitely something. That's what I'd say. But it's an adjustment. Obviously, my sight's never been on junior racquetball. I mean, obviously like to win those tournaments, but I'm just focused on getting better. When I come to play in a tournament, I'm working on improving my game, figuring out where I'm deficient. No, I don't care about winning now. I care about winning later. So, even though I've been winning games, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm playing the best. I'm playing the way I'm supposed to play, and I'm not playing to like. I'm not in a win now. Like a lot of guys, their racquetball career ends like at that junior level. I'm working on my building my game to be a pro player. So that's what I've been trying to improve on. I've been working on my strokes. So there's a lot of stuff I haven't been practicing as much as I normally would. Because of things Cliff's taught me. So I'm just working on my like mechanics and stuff like that, and then everything else will come with it. Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, unless Dad, do you have something to add?
Yeah, just first of all, Brian, thank you for you've probably been with USA Racquetball for running the junior organization for probably 15, 20 years. You don't have any kids that play, and I think it's you're an inspiration. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And then also just thanks to the entire racquetball community. Dane, before he went missing, he had posted some of the racquetball, some of the things, and we've had my brother was manic depressive, so and some other people in our family. So, but he loved racquetball. He loved the community. People have been incredible trying to help. The Dane's partner and family has been incredible. That he has family. And just so many other people have just gone out of their way, and we're just basically, if anyone sees him, try to take a picture discreetly, because he would be scared of people, and we just want him. We're here to support him. Hopefully he would want to seek treatment, but there's no guarantee he does. But we miss him and hope to see him some point soon. And there is help. And a lot of families have reached out to us, and it's really common, mental illness. And I think that's probably why Cody's interested in going into that. But it's starting to come out in the open. And just for parents, if if your kid, you see anything unusual, definitely, take them to a psychologist as soon as possible. And mental health is affecting a lot of kids. And there's a lot of, great kids, and there's really good medicine now that can help them if they want to get help. So thank you to you. And, the board has been great with funding, and reaching your dreams been incredible. And there's just a lot of wonderful people we've met in racquetball. So thank you to everyone.
Great. Yeah, like I said, if you're on Facebook, you can not Google, but just search Dane Elkins, and you'll find the Facebook pages and you can follow that along. But so if that's, we'll go ahead and wrap up the recording now, and I'm gonna hit the stop button.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
Guys, thanks.
Thank you, Brian and Cody.